In this video I've created some HSW cars and I've made it as realistic as possible, adding the right amount of torque and power GTA would add. And to get those calculations, trust me, it took a very long time and I experimented on many cars. On the left side is a normal Sentinel XS that has no HSW and all the engine upgrades, but I have manipulated the power, the torque, to make it behave similarly to the HSW version, which is on the right side. I've done this for many cars so I can get an average of how Rockstar get these cars to work, and I've applied it in all the cars that are in the background footage. These are the cars I'd like to see as HSW. Here's one of my silly cars on the list, the Kanjo SJ. Now the Kanjo SJ, I will admit, already has a lot of pros. It's got so many modifications, so other cars that have been ignored or don't have many benefit can do with HSW, but this is one of my great options. I would love a lot of front wheel drive torque and you having to readjust your driving style for every car you get in and out of, and you get into this and you have to drive it with such care when you're turning corners and not accelerate. The fact that people make so many sleeper builds. There was a Kanjo SJ, the Kanjo, and a few other front wheel drive cars that I'd like to see some HSW attention to. I think that's the area which needs some attention when it comes to HSW modifications, and the Kanjo SJ is one of those cars. You know, it could be seen as a K24 swap, extreme power, and make this car more fun. The T20. I've never seen a car or a supercar that's just kept its popularity this high. The T20, everyone still loves it. People who just get the game now still buy it. So I'm not gonna lie, I thought GTA would have added HSW a long time ago. But it seems not, and when you watch the footage, it looks like this car suits a higher speed a lot more than other HSW cars they've even added into the game. We are talking about a car that broke everyone's perception on pricing in GTA. In 2015, this car cost 2.2 million. Everyone bought it, everyone's still buying it. Just makes sense to HSW it. Like, I'm sure with GTA's inflation, 2.2 million in 2015 would be like 5.5 million now. So I'm hoping the HSW upgrade doesn't cost like 3 million. Oh, the jugular. I think I speak for everyone here when I say the jugular. The jugular is always a favorite. No matter what type of video I make, people are just like, where's the jugular? Why is the jugular not on this list? It's always been on my favorite sounding cars list because it sounds beautiful, but it makes sense to HSW this car. It is a favorite amongst a lot of people. The ATEC Raptor and the jugular are two cars that sound amazing, handle amazing, and nearly everyone enjoys driving in GTA Online. To be fair, the jugular is already a fast car, and me just adding a little bit of torque and a little bit more horsepower makes this thing look too fast. The way it handles all the bumps and imperfections on the GTA road, it boosts the performance of this car. The Stratum. Now look at this thing. It is not the fastest HSW on this list. You can even see that this thing can be faster if Rockstar add it, but this chassis is so great and is not adapted to this power, and that's why I love it so much. This wagon, the mass of it, the suspension travel, the handling, it definitely all lines up for a great experience. It feels like this car shouldn't have that power and someone just focused all on performance and no handling upgrades, and that's why I love it so much as well. A sleeper build that's built for one thing in mind: power. With the all-wheel drive, it gets off the line really quickly. It just makes so much sense. And a cold wagon with similarities to an R32 Skyline. It forms together to make this tuner wagon that it already looks like. The Panto, I've added this one just because it is a car that I want to see have HSW. You want to see it on these smaller, funnier, compact cars that shouldn't have it. This is a rear wheel drive compact car, so it was already something that was hard to control. So when this HSW added to this car, you just get wild spin out. A very hard to control car. You swing this too much and that crash will send you into a new dimension. But that's what we want. We don't want just a fast, predictable, increased acceleration and top end speed car. We want something that has a fun factor. Something that shouldn't be HSW'd. Something like the Vivinite. The Turismo R, another car that already had a few benefits to it. Even though it's still the same price at 500k, they have added more modification to this car, liveries, because they probably know that this car is popular. But as well as this, I am asking for a HSW. It just makes so much sense on this car. Even if Rockstar charged 1.5 million, I would say it's still an understandable charge. This car might only cost 500k, so it might be crazy for an upgrade to be 3 times the value of the car, but this car needs it. This car needs more power. It needs more reasoning for people to drive it. It suits it having a HSW. And in the Criminal Enterprise DLC over 3 years ago, when this car got modernized and updated, the video I made on this car got more views than the cars that were released that DLC. People were more interested in the older car that got updated than the newer cars that got added. So a HSW to this car would clearly have a lot more notoriety than a new car that was added with HSW. The Neuro. Now the Neuro or the Neuro Custom, the Thrax, and maybe even the Adder, the Bugattis are known for being the fastest cars in the world. Well, not to today's standards, but they were the fastest cars in the world, and none of them in GTA Online have HSW, which is crazy to me. I see that Rockstar are trying to distribute HSW to all categories. Like the HSW Issy can go faster than this Neuro, which is a Bugatti. Rockstar are doing really well with distributing the HSW cars, but I think they need to do better when it comes to just making sense. The Comet Safari, it's a car that's been forgotten about, and it was such a cool concept. Like, why would they bring the Safari 911 into GTA 5? Well, why would they also add HSW? I think it fits the concept of this crazy thing. It's so good at off-roading, and we've got vehicles, off-road vehicles like the Terminus that are so fast already without HSW off-roading. They can improve the Comet Safari, which is based off a Safari 911. It makes sense to make this car a HSW, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. The Comet S2. Now this one shocks me on why they never brought a HSW version, or why did they even make this car faster, because they gave this car a lot, and that might be one of the reasons Rockstar didn't make this car faster. It's one of the most modifiable cars that are individually spec'd, so there's a lot of modifiable cars that have a lot more modifications than this car, but the spec is like the bumper, but then secondary color bumper, then carbon bumper. The Comet S2 has a lot of different individual modifications, and non-trade price is 1.8 million, trade price is 1.4 million, which is so cheap. Now adding HSW to this will just be the holy grail. The only thing it's missing then is like armor, and then it's an all-round one of the best GTA packages. But the Comet S2 should have always been faster. This is just one that I don't think they'll add because it adds complications with the stance option, and it does become hard to handle with that mid-engine feel that you get with these Comets. It was proving that in the footage. That's both. Since day one, this car's been a meme. This car was not predicted by anyone to be in the game, and then they released it, and not only did they release it, they added a crazy amount of modifications, unnecessary modifications, ASBO type modifications, and modifications from so many different cultures. And the car was reasonably priced as well, at 400,000 non-trade price and 300,000 trade price, and it's weird to say that was nearly 6 years ago now. So I've added a lot more front wheel drive torque, and I think it fits this car perfectly. Yeah, it does make it a bit uncontrollable, and yeah, it's again, it adds so much characteristics when you just have a fast, stupidly fast car that understeers because it's got too much front wheel drive torque. There's no consideration about better handling. If any car, this car suits having HSW. It's got everything going for it. When you're just playing alone and a car makes you smile, even though you know you've artificially created this, I think that just confirms that HSW should come to that car. The VSTR. This car was always so fast, but year after year it gets a bit outdated, and it could always do with a little speed, and what a car to add it to. I can't believe this car is over 5 years old now. Basing it mostly off the CTSV, I guess it makes sense. You can actually have a Blackwing, have crazy power, and it just all looks right with this car. When you drive it with the HSW, it drives like it should have HSW. And this was one of the cars that was actually controllable with the power I was giving it. You just have to learn to drive it and not just full throttle, because you are adding a lot of torque to this as well. I actually enjoyed making these cars, and I might do this another time for cars that you guys want to see with HSW. So let me know in the comment section, what cars do you want to see as HSW? Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and see you guys in the next one.